So, the latest transfer news coming out of Arsenal is that Dumfries is on the wish list of Mikel Arteta. The attacking, athletic right back is more in the mould of the previous Arsenal set of right backs, in the names of like Bakary Sagna, Lauren. But it strikes me as an odd time to be linked with a right back of this stature. We've just got Cedric Suarez in on a loan fee, and it kind of defeats the object considering he's going to go on a free at the end of the season, unless there's moves for Hector Bellerin in the other direction. Now, on that part, some would say it's about time to get rid of Hector Bellerin, but you can't help but feel for the guy who's putting in all extra hours in training and then getting injured because of it, just so he can get to his best. In an era where we talk about lack of loyalty to clubs and player power, should we not be giving this kid a chance to maybe prove his fitness and prove that he can get back and show some loyalty on the other side? Because I can guarantee, if he puts in a good shift and a good season, you'll be wanting to sign a new contract to keep him at the Emirates for longer. So on this one, it remains to be seen, but right now I can't see it. Next up, we've got Issa Diop, the West Ham centre-back, 23-year-old, 6'3", strong in a tackle, quick, good feet. Can't see it happening. Why? Because we've got Pablo Mari, we've got Luiz, we've got Mustafi to get off the books, and then on the back of that, you've got players like Callum Chambers and Rob Holding. Now, we can say that they're not good enough and they're not pulling strings or turning up trees, but you've got to get rid of them players as well. And then getting another 23-year-old at that age, it strikes me as just paper talk. It strikes me as his agent maybe looking for a move for when he sees West Ham potentially get relegated. He's valued at about 30 million, and to get him off of West Ham's book, you're going to be probably talking about 40 million, even if they do get relegated. Do I see this happening? Not likely. With William Saliba coming in the summer, I can't see Arsenal pushing out the boat for a 23-year-old centre-back who, let's not get it twisted, West Ham's defence isn't exactly watertight. I'm not blaming him, but it's another transfer I just don't see happening. The kid looks alright, but can't see it, mate. Now for one player we've already got in the books, Dani Ceballos. It's come out that the fee we're going to have to pay for him is 36 million. Now, after a great start, the Newcastle game, then Emery's for some reason not favouring the guy. He got injured and his time at Arsenal and the playing field was kind of stop-start, bitty, and we didn't understand why. Now, some may say that it's a deal they don't really want to take up because they've not seen him do much and we could probably get better. But the grass isn't always greener. And a Dani Ceballos, who will feel more at home if a permanent deal's done, we could see better of him. Can't forget that he's a young player and there's a lot to come for him. Could you imagine if we could start getting goals from Ceballos? Getting more assists from Ceballos? For me, if we could get Ceballos for 36 million, I don't see it as a bad bit of business. It might be underwhelming to some, but I see it as a bit of business where you know what you're getting with that player, and we know what he could potentially do. Because I could see Ceballos getting goals, I could see him getting assists. So for me, I'd take the deal. More noises that are coming out of Arsenal is that they're interested in Diogo Jota. The nippy winger, come forward. He's a danger man. He's pacey, he's got a good pass on him, and he's kind of one of the players that came under the radar in the Premier League that was sort of, I don't know. I don't know. He got a fair amount of goals last season in important games, and he seems to be doing the same this season. He seems to get goals in spits and spurts, which is never a bad thing. Do I see it? I don't know. It's going to take a fair amount of money to get Diego Jota off of the books at Wolves. They're in a good position. He's got 2 years on his contract. Now, some may see that as a stumbling block, but for me, when you've got 2 years on your contract, that's the time when the player's got the most power. He can decide whether he wants to sign the contract or he can decide whether he wants to run his contract down, which basically forces the club to sell. Do I think this is a done deal, or do I think this is a deal that Arsenal would do? I think it's got legs. I think it's got legs. I think we do need another winger in this team. I think potentially we could be getting rid of Alexandre Lacazette, which would free up an actual more natural winger forward kind of player. And Diego Jota seems to be showing a bit of consistency in the Premier League, which Arsenal would like. And I'm all for buying players that are tried and tested in the Prem. I think we need to do that a bit more. So do I think this has got legs? Possibly. Do I think it's a deal that Arsenal will do? Who knows? It remains to be seen. But I wouldn't mind a bit of Diego Jota at Arsenal. And finally, the big one. Thomas Partey. The noise has been going around for the last couple of years that we've been interested in Thomas Partey, but we didn't follow through with it. He wanted to come a couple of years ago. For some reason, we didn't make the move. And now we're seeing that Thomas Partey is an absolute beast. He's not just a beast, he's good on the ball, he's great with a long ball, he's good with the decisive passes, and to be fair, he seems like a kind of player that it would fit into any team in the world. He's got a minimum release clause of 45 million. Atletico Madrid, I feel like from what I'm hearing, he needs a new challenge, and potentially Arsenal could be the destination. But with a 45 million release clause and what people are starting to see in the Champions League, it's going to be very, very, very hard to prize this man away and get him for a deal that Arsenal would want. One, he's going to want Champions League football, or European football at least. Two, his wage demands are going to be very high for such a low fee on his transfer fee. Three, it comes back to the other teams that are going to be going after him. There's not many box-to-box midfielders in and around Europe, and there's not many box-to-box midfielders that people have managed to see that can do the business like Thomas Partey has. One of the names coming out saying we need to go all out to buy him is Xhaka Hislop, the man who's flung fecal matter over Arsenal's name for the past 2 or 3 seasons with the likes of Steve Nicholls and Craig Burley. Do I want to take advice from the three stooges there? No, I don't. But this is one time Xhaka Hislop could possibly be right. But it's also leading itself to be a Arsenal miss out again, when really the transfer, if we do pull it off, would be an absolute masterclass. It would be something that we've pulled out of the app. We would have had to pull a rabbit out of a hat for this one, because as I said, Thomas Partey is going to be hot property in the summer, as with many other players who have minimum release clauses of this low value. And like I said, it's going to be very hard to prize him away from Atletico Madrid. So that's my transfer news today. There'll be more coming on a daily basis, especially with this coronavirus about. You're going to hear a lot of transfer rumours that are going to be absolute trash, just because they need something to fill the papers and just because people need clickbait. So don't fall for it. You want the latest. If you want to hear some real talk on it, and you want me to shut it down, you make sure you get tuned in here. I'll be on my channel and Sunny TV Unfiltered. On that note, peace out.